Hey guys, this is rounding numbers to any place value without a number line. We have been using a vertical number line to give us an idea on where we should round a number. But today we're going to look at how can we round a number without using the number line. Let's take our first question here at the top. What is 36,697 rounded to the nearest 10,000? Well, it says step one here. Step one is we want to put a circle around the digit of the place value we are rounding. So here we see that we are looking at the 10,000s place. So we look at our number and we can go through each place value just to make sure we have it right. So right here's the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So if I were to write this number again, let me write this 36,697. So we're looking at, again, we're looking at the 10,000s place. All right? So now, once we understand, so now we know we're counting by 10,000. So we're at 3 10,000s. So 30,000, what would be the next? We should be thinking about what the next 10,000 is. So this is 30,000. Okay, and what's the next 10,000? Well, you know, it would be 40,000 because we're counting by tens. Okay, so 30, 40, we're counting by 10,000s. All right, so now what's the next step? Once we focus in on where we are, we need to know if it's going to be closer to 30,000 or 40,000. Well, we want to look at the digit to the right of your circle digit. So if we take a look next door, because we know that this next place value over, it takes 10 of the 1,000s to make one 10,000. So therefore we know that it takes 5,000 to make exactly half of one 10,000. So if we know we're at least halfway, 5 or more, we know that we are going to be closer to 40,000. If we're less than 5, then we would be at closer to 30,000. So let's see if that makes sense in step 2. Look at the digit to the right. We see that it's a 6. If the digit to the right is 5 or more, then our circle digit will go up 1. Okay? So in this case, it is the digit to the right is 6, so our circled or our place value digit that we're rounding will go up to 4. And that makes sense because that's the next 10,000 up. If the digit was less than 5, then the circle digit would stay the same, but it's not. It's more than 5. Well, let's take a look at step 3. It says the place values to the right of the rounded digit will be replaced with 0. So I need a 0 for the 6 here, comma, and the 0 for that 6, and 0, and 0. So you can see that our rounded 36,697 is approximately, that's that funny sign for it, is closer to 40,000 than it is 30,000. And we were doing what was closest to 10,000. Okay? The digits to the left will stay the same. Well, are there any digits to the left of this 3? No, so we don't have to worry about that in this case. Right? So I hope you got that down. So now I'd like for you to try one. I'm going to erase what I have up here. So if you would and we'll still round to the nearest 10,000, but this time I want you to round this number to the nearest 10,000. Okay, 578,201. So pause the video, see if you can use the steps that we just went through. You can still use the video screen up and down there to see what we do for each step, and then see if you get the same thing as I do. Alright, well, I hope this was simple for you. So let's write down our number. We have 578,201. I'm rounding to the nearest 10,000. That's important. So I need to focus on where is the 10,000. So ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. So here's the 10,000s. I'm going to circle, put a circle around it so I know that I'm focused. Because I'm at 7 10,000s, so I know that I'm going to be somewhere between 570,000 and 500, if I'm counting by 10,000, 580,000. Okay, so now I get to step 2. It says look at the digit to the right of your circled digit. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so again, remember at the lady in the former video said, look next door and see what we have. So we have an 8 there, and we know it takes 5,000 to make exactly half of a 10,000, but we know that 8 is more than that. So therefore, our circle digit will go up 1 to the next 10,000, which would be 8. 10,000s, so you can see that. So in step 3, it says to the right of the rounded digit, we're going to replace each of those digits with 0. So there's, you can see my 80,000. But remember, we weren't just at 78,000, we were at 578,000, and we weren't messing with the 100,000s. So the digits to the left will stay the same. So this 5 would still be 5. So this number to the nearest 10,000 is 580,000. Give yourself a pat on the back if you got that right. If not, think about what we just discussed and replay if you need to. All right, let's do one more. Okay, this time we're not going to round to the nearest 10,000. I want you to round to the nearest 100. Okay, so now we're focused on the hundreds place, and we're going to round this number, 570,201, to the nearest 100. So that's important. What place value are we rounding? So we're going to write this again, 578,201. All right, so again, let's go through. Put a circle around the digit of the place value we're rounding. So we're in the hundreds, so ones, tens, hundreds. So I would put a circle around the 2. So that's what I'm focused on. I'm going to look to the digit to the right. Is it more than 5 or more? No, it is not. It's less than 5, so we know that this is not going to go up to the next 100. It's going to stay at this 200. What do we do after we've rounded that digit? We replace the digits after it with zeros, and all that became 4 it stays the same. So this number rounded to the nearest 100 is 578,200. All right, there's one last thing that I'd like to discuss with you this evening. Is the purpose is not just so that you can round a number in math class. It is to use it in solving a problem. So let's take a look at like an addition problem, if we wanted to estimate. So if I were adding 36,275 plus 18,946, and I wanted to get an estimate about what would the sum of this be. We'll call that S. What is the sum of this? And I just wanted to know an about. So I would need to round each of these numbers. So let's round it to the greatest place value, just to make it the simplest. So we round to the greatest place value in each of these. Let's take this one first. We have, this is the 10,000s place. So if we go back to our model, we look to the digit to the right. We're at 6,000. We know it takes 5,000 to make half of a 10,000. So we're over halfway of making another 10,000. So therefore this 3 will go up to 4 10,000s or 40,000. All the digits that come after are zeros. So this is about 40,000 plus. Now we'll do the same thing. Our largest place value here, this is 1 10,000. We'll look to the digit to the right. It is 5 or more, so we're over halfway. 8,000 is more than half of what 10,000 is. So we are going to go up 1 for this to 2 10,000s or 20,000. And then, of course, the digits after are 0. Okay. So what is our estimate? Okay, and that's a fancy name for an about. You need to know that, estimate. Our estimate for the sum of this, this is simple because this is just adding like 40 plus 20, which is 60, but we know we're dealing with thousands, so our estimate for the sum is about 60,000. Take your calculator and do the exact and see if the exact answer is close. I think you'll see that it will. All right, be prepared tomorrow if you have any questions, and I will certainly answer them for you. Have a great evening.